Hello, everyone, and welcome back to all. Well, it's all, I want to say the wrong show here. Oh my
Dude,
God, the Hard Hitting
you're all
Wrestling
over the place.
Show.
You're all over
Man,
the
I'm all
place.
over the place, man. We've been talking about football and wrestling
Yeah,
back and forth.
yeah.
So yeah, I kind of stumble on a couple of shows here and there. But hey, welcome to the Hard Hitting Wrestling Show. It's the aftermath of day one. As you see our background, we got the day one symbol. Man, I loved it. I
Yeah.
truly loved it. Yes, the little mishap with Roman Reigns. Yeah, he has COVID-19 and wasn't able to perform tonight. But the show has to continue, and man, it was worth watching day one. And if you're a fan, and if you're a fan of the storyline, this was epic tonight, man. And so I want to recap on, and especially on social media. I got my Twitter feed ov_HHW show. So those of you that are on Twitter, please follow me. Um, and listen, all the updates that I could find on WWE and all the other wrestling platforms, you can find it here on HHW Show. But as you can see here, Brock Lesnar is the new WWE champion, which, look, he had to apply that signature move on Big E, and that was a wrap. We will talk about that more. But you can see also the spear that Bobby Lashley gave him. Hector got more on that as we get along. And look, Antonio R. Lewis, awesome pay per view. I hope they do Lesnar versus Lashley at WrestleMania. I'm glad that you mentioned that, Lewis, because we're definitely going to be talking about that real quick. Also, Becky Lynch retains the title. A lot of disappointed fans out there because they expected Liv Morgan to win tonight. I mean, I did too. But it was a good showing. Look at that best power bomb that Liv Morgan gave to Becky Lynch. I thought that was a wrap, but Becky Lynch found some resiliency and bounced back. Also, big shout out to Brandon Cobina. Those of you that don't know him, he is the Black John Cena. The Miz loses to Edge as Beth Phoenix makes an appearance. More on that to follow. And also the RK Bros retained the WWE Tag Team titles. As you see, the rap group, man, the Migos were there. Very surprising that they walked with the RK Bros and not the Street Profits. And then listen, you can see that. I mean, social media was on tonight. I tell you that much. And there was one that was distraught about Migos coming out with Randy Orton instead of the Street Profits. But hey, it's all good. Drew McIntyre defeated Madcap Moss. And then I think what stole the show. We're gonna weigh in who was the better result here. Was it the SmackDown Tag Team Championship or was it the main event? Either or, the New Day retains their title. So awesome, awesome match tonight. So let's get started, man. You want to work your way backwards or you want to go forwards, Hector? Which one you want?
Hey, let's just save the best for last and start from the front.
All right, man. The Usos defeated the New Day. Look, it was an epic match. I enjoyed it. A lot of maneuvers, and I know there's been many times we see these two tag teams go at it from time to time, but every time that they link up together, they bring the best out of each other every time, and it's always something new, something surprises that's happened, you know. And what got to me is the double slam, the double air splash on top of Xavier Woods or Kofi Kingston,
Kofi
excuse me,
Kingston, yeah.
right? And then man, it just the match kept going and going. You didn't. And I had a gut feeling a little bit that the New Day was gonna win, but then the Usos come, and it was like a seesaw going on. What do you think of it?
Yeah, I mean, we've known these two teams to know each other for so many years, going back and forward. It is very unpredictable to know who's going to win when they face each other because they have gotten the best out of each other. I would like to go further and say that when the day comes that either tag team goes into the Hall of Fame, that the other inducts them because these two teams know each other. They got so much chemistry. And then when we seen that point where both teams stood in the ring and stared at each other, they knew they were staring at that their equal opponent because it's like, gosh, I can't seem to get one on you. What I got to do, they know each other's game plan. It's like, when you got two similar things, clicking, two
Right.
formulas that clicking, it's just unbelievable. But yeah, it
Look,
was.
Pat McAfee even said it right there. He was talking about comparing them with Alabama versus Georgia. So those of you that didn't understand that, Alabama versus Georgia is a big rivalry in college football. They're going to face each other on January 10th for the college football playoff national championship. But they have plenty of storylines, a lot of history, a lot of favor of Alabama, and he resulted that to the New Day and the USO, which was an indicator that if you're comparing Alabama Georgia, that the Usos had a better advantage. So that right there, as soon as he said that, I was like, oh, okay, tag team champions, they're gonna retain. But it was a great match, and Pat McAfee also said it was a good old fashioned tag team match. And you know what? From day one, which is of course day one pay per view, these two tag teams were on it. So congratulations to the Usos. They are the one. That's all I got to
Yeah.
say. They are the one. But Drew McIntyre defeated Madcap Moss. But after the Raw Tag Team Championship, Drew McIntyre was ambushed by I was going to say Happy Gilmore again, but Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss. So that storyline is not going to finish. And it feels like for the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, or if not later, that we get to see Drew McIntyre versus King.
Happy
I
Corbin.
mean, not King. Oh, Happy
Happy Corbin.
Corbin. I know. Bad habits. Look, there's not much to say. I think Drew McIntyre manhandled Moss. I think the match was extended a little bit too long,
Yeah.
but it was expected Drew McIntyre to win.
Yeah, it was. I mean, even it's crazy how he gave Madcap some props as far as being a tough SOB when he fought him. Yeah, but you're right. That match went a little too long. But they did kind of hurt him at the end. You know what I'm saying? Put that chair between his neck. So we'll see how this goes.
Right. RK Bros retained the tag team titles as they beat the Street Profits with Migos on their side celebrating. But the best thing was the good sportsmanship between the RK Bros and the Street Profits. I was leaning more the Street Profits to become heel, but that's not the case. These guys, especially Randy Orton, gave them props to the Street Profits. They all congratulated one another, and it was nothing but respect. I like that. But what's next for the Raw tag team titles? Who could actually challenge RK Bros? I have a tag team in mind, but I'd like to hear from you first. Who do you think?
It's kind of I don't know. I don't want to say the American Alphas or whatever. I mean, but because but I still think that I still think the Street Profits should still be in line for that. I felt like something was going to happen, even though the Migos were there. I felt like something was brewing there for a second. It might have been like an ambush, So that's why I still think overall, I think the Street Profits should still be that number one tag team. I don't like the Mysterios being in this position, and so
I got one. I got one for you. I'm surprised you didn't mention it.
I'm thinking I know you're going to go lean towards, but go ahead.
Yes, Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens to become the next Raw Tag Team Champions. Why? Look at that history. I mean, look at that chemistry that they had in the ring to take out their opponents. I mean, look, yes, they've never been a tag teams before. They've been in groups before, but not an actual tag team, and they worked well, eliminating the threat and everything else, but as best as they can. But they got their ass whipped together the best way they can, right? So if there's anyone that's going to take those titles, I pick them. That if they could formulate into a tag team and step away from the actual WWE Championship, I think they would give the run at the RK Bros.
Yeah, I can maybe see that, but I feel like Seth Rollins would be more focused on going after Brock Lesnar. He knows he can beat Brock Lesnar. I just think because we got too many faces going on over here. We got Lashley, we got Brock Lesnar, we got Big E. I can't.
Well, are they really faces or they're considered tweeners? Because
but the
fans
are
hate
loving
love them at the same time.
I think the fans are loving all three of them, and I just hate to see them three meshing and then leaving these two out of the picture. I think Seth Rollins got his trick up his sleeve, man. He's really sneaky.
So on Twitter, I gave a poll about would you like to see happen with with Randy Orton, RKO and Montez Ford from the air? Now, my imagination was that he will go on the top of the ropes, fly in the air like he usually does, and then there goes Randy Orton with the
Right.
RKO.
Right.
He did go in the air, but not the way that scenario. Okay,
Yep.
it had some assistance with Riddle, but it was
Yeah.
still a great maneuver, and it ended the way it was supposed to. And Montez Ford fell flat. Still got
Well,
RKO'd, and the Migos and the fans still jumped off their seat. And look, congrats to the RK Bros. I think that this match will continue on Monday Night Raw. I really
I
do.
think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Edge wins with Beth Phoenix appearing. Um, it feels like it's going to be a mixed match tag team somewhere down the line during a
Yep.
Raw segment. I don't see this as a pay-per-view event. So I
Right.
like Beth Phoenix is back. She has a new hair look. I love it. And
I
she's
know it.
beast mode already. But I don't
She
think
looks.
Mauricie's ready, man.
No, Beth Phoenix looked like something out of the Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome movie from 1985. I mean, she was like ready to come out there and just destroy somebody. And I knew something like this was going to happen because you got Edge all by himself here. Maurice is in that corner. Beth
Mm-hmm.
is not going to leave her husband to be, she's not going to throw her
No,
husband under the bus. She was out there. She's
absolutely
ready.
not.
She's ready. I'm ready.
Yeah. I mean, I thought the storyline would twist a little bit so Maurice go against the Miz and then they split up, that storyline.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's gonna happen, especially when you have Mr. and Mrs. Miz on USA Network. So,
Yeah.
but hey, the next match after that was Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan, I had thought that was gonna win tonight. The way the storyline was driven, I thought she was gonna actually make it. Like there it is, but eventually she fell short. And a couple of things, like Morgan has done more than any other superstar to battle against Becky Lynch. Have you noticed how much punishment Lynch received tonight than any other matches that she since her return?
Yeah.
Okay. But the only problem is that Morgan doesn't have that strategy to overcome. She's not 3 steps ahead. And every time she does something, either Becky Lynch is countering the maneuver or she finds a way to escape, take a breather, come back, and retaliate again.
Yeah.
And Liv Morgan needs to perfect that area. She's getting there, but I don't think, and Becky Lynch is right. She doesn't have what it takes to become a women's champion.
Not right now. I mean, it seemed like deja vu because I seem like I've seen Liv Morgan lose this way before to Becky Lynch. Getting slammed in the head like this, and just a weird nonchalant cover.
But
I
that
mean,
power bomb that she gave to
yeah,
Becky Lynch, I thought that was it, man. Like
yeah,
the momentum was on her terms. But the other thing is that a lot of people in social media were concentrating on the referee, Aja Smith. Now, she was actually a little bit slower than any other refs when it comes to 3 count. And then
yeah,
I caught it spot on. I'm like, why is that for this match only, that 3 count was a lot slower than all the matches together?
yeah.
Not saying that there was a big difference maker. Not saying that, but it's just curiosity why that was so much slower.
Yeah. I think it was just a setup to get Becky Lynch just to win this belt. Because I mean, at the end, you saw like Becky didn't know whether she was trying to reach for the ropes with her foot, try to get that, make sure to secure that 3 count or not. Yeah. So it was either way. Morgan needs to go back and do her homework, go back to the drawing board.
I think this is it for Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
I'll be surprised if we have another match between these two. I mean, something drastic has to happen. And if there was another match, it will have to be a condition match, right? Maybe a steel cage match or Hell in a Cell match. I don't know, whatever it gives, but it can't be a plain old regular match anymore.
Yeah.
But there's other superstars in there. Maybe Bianca Belair gets a shot back at Becky Lynch, or could we see Bayley return? Will she be on Raw or SmackDown? So I don't know, man. I don't know, but somebody else got to step up. Maybe Deirdre. Maybe she comes to play. I don't know, man. But there is the Royal Rumble coming back, at the end of this month. So let's see
January
which
29th.
female could step up for WrestleMania. But the main event here is this: Brock Lesnar wins the WWE Championship. And I want to go back to the comment that was made previously by Antonio R. Lewis. And this is what he said: awesome pay-per-view. I hope they do a Lesnar versus Lashley at WrestleMania. Now, with that, for what he has said, Hector, we just saw what Bobby Lashley had done to Brock Lesnar tonight. And what were the two things that you saw?
He hit him with that spear on the outside, knocked him out. He knocked him out cold. And then when he got him in the ring with no interference, he got him in that hurt lock. And Brock Lesnar looked like he didn't know what to do. I get it. He got his punishment a little bit. He got double teamed on the outside, but one-on-one, Brock didn't do any kind of offense moves on Bobby Lashley tonight. Lashley got the upper hand, I would say, in this first ever meeting between the two in the ring. But it just didn't go Lashley's way as far as getting the title, getting the pin. So it's like Brock.
That is the why that will be a WrestleMania main event with them two. Maybe a day one or day two. It doesn't matter. But a lot of fans are waiting for this. And maybe, just maybe, now the storyline changes, because all that tells me is that maybe Lesnar was about to lose to Roman Reigns, and then he will go off to Raw, have his match, and set up with a Bobby Lashley type match, right?
Yeah,
Big E. Look, for Lesnar to come out and let's put it this way: Lashley got lucky, because I'm gonna tell you why. Both times that he tried, right, Lesnar was not focused on Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
He was still recovering from the beating he got from everybody else, that by the time Bobby Lashley did his maneuvers, he was down to the count, right? And in the ring, he wasn't aware of Bobby Lashley either. So what would happen if Lashley was aware and then them two were standing toe-to-toe in front of each other in the middle of the ring? I think there will be some different circumstances there.
Because it seemed like when he focused on Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley was really focused. It's like he wanted to show everybody that this man doesn't intimidate him or he can do anything with him. But he took his focus on her for everybody else. That's why Big E put him through the table. That's why he got double teamed. And it feels like Brock didn't have to do anything, you see, because Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens did all the work. It seems like they did all the work, and then Brock just
they did all the work. It was a perfect plan for Kevin Owens until Lesnar showed up.
Yep.
And how many F5? Look, I was out of my seat. I was like, wow, action after action after action, and that's what you wanted.
Yeah,
that's what you wanted. There wasn't no stalemate. There was no like taking breathers. All five of them laying flat at the ground with the referee count to 10 count or something like that. It was none of that. It was strictly action, and that's what we wanted. They gave the fans what day one looks like, and I'm hoping that these pay-per-views coming up will be just that exciting. But what is next for the WWE Championship? What is next? What do you think is going to happen tomorrow leading on to the Royal Rumble?
I think honestly, now Brock is going to be able to sit back and watch these other guys go at it. Because it seemed like nothing has been settled now. Big E's going to want a rematch. Bobby Lashley's going to be like, look, I did what I did to Brock Lesnar, so I have an advantage, a gentleman's advantage here. Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens, well, they're probably still going to be hopefully best friends and try to contemplate a plan here to go after Brock. I'm telling you, this is not over with. I think that's why for the tag team titles, no, I think they're focusing at this fatal five-way is not over yet. And Brock is
not over yet either. I'm just excited, but
enjoy it.
Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens somehow, somewhere going to lose track on the WWE Championship, or they're going to turn at each other somewhere down the line. But I feel like their chemistry will get together. They want to call each other best friends. Why not go for the Raw tag team titles? That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
And
I think that would be perfect for a WrestleMania event.
And I really want to see how Big E now, handles himself being former champion now. The first time.
I think Big E was going to want that rematch.
He will.
With Brock Lesnar alone. But Big E doesn't have anything against Lesnar. He just doesn't have it.
How is his emotions going to carry on being a former champion, chasing something that he once had. It's one thing to chase something you never had versus chasing something now that you once had. You know what it feels like
Mhm.
to be that, and now he's not that anymore. So now those emotions and is he going to have to go through Bobby Lashley first?
Mm.
Before he get to Brock Lesnar. So this is going to be interesting. What's going to happen Monday night?
Look, Antonio Lewis, thank you for supporting our show. He mentions that Big E gets his rematch at the Rumble. He may get his rematch, but I don't think, now that Lesnar got the title, he's going to carry that all the way to WrestleMania. And the question is that will the winner come from Raw or SmackDown? I'm a firm believer now that the winner of the Royal Rumble will come from SmackDown, just because Lesnar has the WWE Championship
Right.
and he will now feature on Raw.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that because you got more challenges on Raw to go after that title than you do on SmackDown. Because I did pose the question, what is now next for Roman Reigns? I get it, he's going to recover, but when he's back into that ring, who is next to challenge him? Drew McIntyre got his hands full, you know what I'm saying? So that knocks
Yeah,
him
but
out
Drew
the picture.
McIntyre is on SmackDown,
Yeah,
and he might be the guy to win the Royal Rumble again, and then
maybe,
face Roman Reigns.
maybe, yeah, that'll be down the
Mhm.
line if we can
But
get
who
past
else? But
Happy Corbin.
right, exactly. But who else really besides Drew McIntyre will face Roman Reigns? Now we're on that side on that subject.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't.
what
I
I would
just
like
don't
to see.
see anyone on that level unless Finn
No,
Balor. Finn Balor.
he
I
already
mean,
had
look,
his
Finn Balor
chance.
lost the
Yeah,
match, but he somehow injured his leg on the
yeah,
top ropes or something like that. You know what I mean? Like the ring broke.
yeah.
So why not bring that back? I mean, that's the only superstar that I know that could come out as the devil himself and challenge Roman Reigns.
But he failed it already once. For that, we just say let Cesaro get another shot at it. He
But
failed
Lord
too.
Cesaro's a tag team with Ricochet, though.
Yeah, but they're not a real tag team. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to come out of SmackDown for Roman Reigns. But it seemed like his reign as champion is going to continue for a very long time.
Oh no, he's already going to break the record of holding the
Yeah,
title. And
yeah,
for Roman Reigns, I hope that he's all right and that he make a
yeah.
safe recovery. Um,
But it's
much
interesting
indeed.
to but
Mhm.
it's interesting to see Lesnar and Reigns go on as champion without Paul Heyman.
Right.
That's going
And,
to be
and
interesting.
and now that you talk about Paul Heyman didn't mention that maybe his career is over. He had that
Yeah,
one-on-one meeting talking about, or excuse me, the interview saying that maybe it's time. But
maybe.
is
Yeah,
it time really done? It's just I don't know. Sometimes I think Paul Heyman has some tricks in his sleeve and stuff like that. So
yeah,
maybe it's true. Maybe he is done. Maybe he is going to retire. I mean, he's been in the business for a very, very long time. Was not to say that he does officially retire from wrestling altogether. I mean, the most talented manager, promo, everything. There's no one like Paul Heyman, to be honest with you. But for Brock Lesnar becoming the WWE champion once again, featuring on Raw, it's gonna be interesting to see what direction does Bobby Lashley and Big E take, as well as Seth Rollins, or excuse me, Seth freaking Rollins
yeah.
and Kevin Owens. So, but hey, the HHW Show podcast is back. It is day one today. Happy New Year's to everyone. I hope everyone is safe. I know during this time we're going through a pandemic and everything else, as you noticed, and if you heard about Roman Reigns got COVID-19. Look, I encourage everyone to be vaccinated, but that's an individual choice. Uh, but no matter what, wherever you go, please protect yourself at all times. No matter where you go into crowded areas, please wear your mask and everything else, and please be safe. Hopefully, 2022 bring us something promising, and that we could get over all this. And one more topic here. It might be a long shot, but it'd be cool if Bray returns as number 30 and win the Rumble. To me, he'll be the right one to end Roman's title reign. I like that, man. You think Bray
Well,
Wyatt will come back?
seeing how see how he took the title from Bray Wyatt.
But would he come back to WWE? That's the question.
I think it would be best because I never wanted to see him leave in the first place. I
Right.
love the Fiend. I love that character, and for that to happen, that would be great because again, he took the title from the Fiend. in that triple threat match, and never looked back ever since. So that would be interesting for the one who lost the title, come back and go after that title. He probably would give Roman Reigns a run for that money, for that title. He probably would. But right now, I mean, we're just up in the air.
Okay. Well, we'll have to wait and see on that and much more. It's just more interesting to see what's going to happen tomorrow night, or excuse me, it's going to be Sunday on Monday Night Raw, right? Confusing how pay-per-views usually on Sundays, and now this was a Saturday. But I like it, man. I like it being on a Saturday. But Monday Night Raw, much more to talk about. I mean, this is a man soap opera, right? Or can we say that? I think it's everybody's soap opera. It's mixed. Yeah. It's a lot better than before. So,
it's more for the men.
More on this show for this year. We got Northeast Wrestling going on. The formerly Braun Strowman will be in Waterbury, Connecticut. We're definitely going to be there. I will be there. This will be a surprise for someone else, but we're going to meet him and other former WWE superstars as NEW comes by on January 21st in Waterbury. You don't want to miss that. So if you're in my local area, you want to tune into that because there are AEW superstars are going to be there. Plus, I think it's the NEW Heavyweight Championship is on the line. Plus, Braun Strowman will be wrestling on that night too. So I can't wait. And then also formerly, anyways, it's just a lot more. Go to northwrestling.com to know more about the events that's coming up. And also our show every Tuesdays. We're going to bring more content to this. So expect more on the YouTube channel. So please subscribe to our channel. That is the Hard Hitting Wrestling Show. Type in your search HHW Show. And let me go ahead and put on our little overlay here. The HHWshow.com. Tune in. Follow us. Let us know how you feel about this show and everything else. Spread the word around. And get our numbers up because I'm surprisingly we got over 200 subscribers. I mean, I know it's been 6 months since we last did our show. I think it was right after SummerSlam. So we are back live, and a big shout out to SCW Wrestling channel. That is Steve. His content is awesome. He's you can follow him on Twitter. Amongst everybody else, listen, we're gonna do a big shout out. Reach out to all the podcasters out there. So once again, this is the CMG Sports Podcast Network. So thank you, everyone. Happy New Year. And we will always be back. So thank you, Hector, man. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and Frank, if you're listening, that's the other host. He'll be back too. So take care, everyone. Happy New Year.
Turn it up, 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 turn it up.